This is GBC News. It's time for news. Hello, good afternoon. I'm Siyokwo Kwakuchayi. Welcome to the news. The West African Examination Council has debunked claims that the food and nutrition examination practical paper being undertaken by senior high school students nationwide leaked prior to the examination day. African Education Watch, led by Mr. Kofi Asari, on Sunday published on social media that the paper has leaked, but explaining the issue to the media on Monday, the head of National Office of WAEC in Ghana, Madam Wendy Adelamte, provided two sets of question papers, the original and authentic one which the students are writing, and that which is alleged to be a leaked paper. She therefore debunked the allegation as false. Our correspondent Humu Kalsum Abdullahi sat in the meeting for GBC News. She is in the studio with me to tell us more. Good afternoon, Humu.
Good afternoon, Seiko.
Humu, what really are the issues as far as the leaked paper is concerned?
You know, on the 16th of August, prior to the exams day, what WAEC usually does, it sends copies of documents to the schools. These are kind of instructions to guide the student as they prepare towards the exams. So what the WAEC office said was that after that, African Watch, EduWatch, contacted them to indicate that they had gotten document that they had gotten information that indicate that the food and nutrition paper 3 had been leaked. The exam was supposed to be taken on Friday, but by early morning there were copies of this supposed leaked paper on social media. And after they contacted WAEC told them to hold on to after the paper had been taken. But unfortunately, the team leaked the paper. And then what WAEC is saying is that it is not a very good thing for EduWatch to do, because even though they consider EduWatch as a partner in the education sector, activities or insinuations like this only go to tarnish the image of WAEC and even the certificate that it releases.
What paper did EduWatch leak? Is it the original paper?
They leaked a paper, a supposed paper that the students were going to take. But if you watch the pictures from WAEC, they had copies of the leaked paper, the supposed leaked paper, which is totally different from the paper that the student actually wrote. And even if you watch the paper that was supposed to have been leaked, it's full of grammatical mistakes and a lot of other things that WAEC claims that couldn't have been coming from them. So
you're saying that EduWatch leaked a paper. Which kind of paper? Is it a paper from WAEC or is their own kind of paper?
A paper that only God knows where it's coming from, because it was totally different from the paper that was taken by the student. But so if you remember, in 2020, the same EduWatch, after the exams had been taken, made reports that the papers were leaked to support or to help those students because they were the first beneficiaries of the free SHS.
Exactly.
And at that time, WAEC considered taking them to court. This time around, they couldn't even say they were going to take them to court, because according to the council, they consider EduWatch as partners in what they are doing. And what they are going to do is probably invite the team.
But if you have a partner who is always saying negative things about you, or providing falsehood, why wouldn't you take them to court?
Exactly. Only God knows why WAEC do not want to take EduWatch to court, because it made it clear that these activities or these insinuations only goes to tarnish the image and credibility of the council. And only God knows why it's not willing to take EduWatch to court.
So has this paper been written?
The paper was written on Friday. But so there were other issues. They said there are some schools that some of the teachers are forming groups. They are collecting money from students, and there are some WhatsApp and website groups that have been formed, and the students have been asked to pay money so that they will be given question papers prior to the exams, or they will be allowed to cheat. WAEC is saying that every student, at least the candidate, they should desist from these activities, because if you are caught, your paper will be cancelled and that will be your end.
Okay, so now we know that WAEC says they have their authentic paper
yes.
and contrary to what EduWatch has. So let's see that we can talk to a rep from EduWatch.
Yes.
So we have on Zoom Mr. Kofi Asari, the Executive Director of the African Education Watch, EduWatch education think tank, which announced a leakage of the food and nutrition paper in the ongoing West African Senior School Certificate examination. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yeah, Mr. Asari, on what basis are you alleging that the food and nutrition paper was leaked?
On the basis that we received the questions at 11:08 on a social media platform. And we took shots of the leak and we shared it to stakeholders 2.5 hours before the paper. It is on that basis that we are saying that the questions leaked. But
now, here's a situation where WAEC has presented two sets of papers, one that they claim is the authentic or the original paper, which is contrary to what you published on social media.
I have not published, we have not published any paper on social media. When we get leaked questions, we don't publish them. So we never published any leaked questions. We only indicated that there has been a leak. We did not publish the paper that are leaked because it was unethical for us to actually market an illegality. So what we have shared with stakeholders and a lot of media houses is actually the screenshots of the question that was leaked at 11:08 a.m. on Friday, and it's available for everyone to see. That is not what WAEC projected. WAEC was projected a different document. In our document, you see the legs of a security official in the picture. Okay, so what we projected, the evidence we have of the leaked paper is different from WAEC's evidence that they have that the questions did not leak. Absolutely different. That is why I actually asked your reporter to come to our office for us to show them the evidence we have of the leaked paper, because we realized that what was presented was not the evidence of the leak.
Surely we'll be in your office.
That can provide evidence of the leak.
Sure, we're going to be.
There are journalists in my office.
Yeah.
There are journalists in my office.
Yeah.
Inspecting the evidence we have.
Yeah.
So only us can prove the evidence of the leak, and not WAEC. WAEC has got something else to present to you as evidence that nothing leaked. But since Friday.
Okay, since Friday, but
did you also shared it with the Ministry of Education? Yes, we have shared it with the Ministry of Education.
Right, but Friday, did you notify WAEC about the purported leakage, and was it done before those papers were written?
We have always engaged WAEC whenever there's a leakage. Whether WAEC admits it or not, we've always engaged WAEC whenever there's a leakage. And not only WAEC, because you see, it's a tricky situation. WAEC will always defend everything. So anytime there's a leakage, we share it with WAEC, we share it with one or two media houses, because we are careful not to circulate the leakage. If you circulate the leakage, you are breaking the law, because you don't uphold the law by breaking the law. So it's a very tricky issue here. But we make sure we say to some people in confidence and keep the evidence that at this time, this document was published on this platform so that we can treat it as a leak. And that is what we have done. So I'm inviting you to come to our office. We'll show you evidence that the paper was put on a platform, a Telegram platform, 2.5 hours before the paper. And you compare it to the actual paper that was written. And then you decide for yourself and inform the public. As for WAEC, they are an interested party, and so they always protect their business, because it is their business to have WASI in the monopoly that they are enjoying it.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Asari. We'll surely be at your office to compare those papers that you have. Thank you very much. Homo, you just heard what Mr. Asari is saying. I don't want to ask whether you believe him, because it's not your duty to believe him or not until you go to his office or the EduWatch office to also ascertain the truth. But what do you make of what he just said?
I am surprised because what WAEC presented to us, which was purported to have been leaked, WAEC said, the council says that EduWatch sent it to them. So if he's now saying that that's not the paper, then I don't know which one to believe. But what I know for sure, we are going to go to the office, EduWatch, the office of EduWatch, and then get what they are saying was the leaked paper. And compare it to the original paper, and then most definitely the viewers need to know the truth.
We'll bring you updates of this story in our future bulletin. You're still live on GBC News and you're watching News Hour. The Ghana Health Service has begun the mass drug administration for onchocerciasis, otherwise known as river blindness, in 66 endemic districts in 13 regions of the country. It started today, Monday, 23rd August 2021, and is expected to end on Friday, 3rd September 2021. The exercise targets 4,740,039 beneficiaries. The drug is being administered to the beneficiaries free of charge. The affected regions include Ahafo, Ashanti, Bono East, Eastern, Northeast, and Northern regions. The rest are Oti, Savannah, Upper East, Upper West, Western, and Western North regions. The mass drug administration is a provision of therapeutic dose of an effective NTD medicine to the entire target population, irrespective of infection status or symptom. Dosage is by height for persons above 5 years with height more than 90 centimeters using a measuring pole. During the period, community drug distributors will visit every household to register and give out Mectizan tablets to eligible individuals. Meanwhile, the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Kumabwaji, has assured the general public that the drugs are safe and effective. He therefore entreated all persons living in the designated endemic districts to make themselves available for the exercise, irrespective of whether they have been infected or not. River blindness is mostly common in poor and marginalized communities. It is spread through repeated bites of an infected black fly, which is found in enclaves around fast-flowing water bodies. We have on the line the National Program Officer for Onchocerciasis, Ghana Health Service, Mr. Odami Asiedu, to tell us more about the exercise. Good afternoon, sir. Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Odami. Hello, good afternoon. Well, we're trying to reach the National Program Officer for Onchocerciasis, Ghana Health Service, to tell us more about the impending exercise. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, madam.
And thank you very much for joining us. So how did the exercise begin at the designated districts?
All the 66 districts in the country, after an extensive social mobilization exercises, and as you know, we are discouraging people from engaging in meetings, and so we are relying on the use of bongo beating and announcement in the various communities to raise their awareness about this mass drug administration. And so all the 66 districts in the country have actually trained community drug distributors who are visiting individual households to distribute the tablets to the eligible population.
Yeah, talking about awareness creation, we have updates from our regional correspondents from all the 16 regions of the country, and they indicate a low level of awareness in the community. So how do you intend to improve on awareness creation to ensure full patronage?
Social mobilization activities is ongoing, and it will run till the end of the activity, which is up to the end of by 3rd September. We are engaging in engaging various stakeholders, such as the district assemblies. We are also engaging the chiefs and opinion leaders in the various communities. We are also engaging other well-meaning people who are engaging with awareness within the community, social groups, and what have you. And through various mechanisms, we are trying to educate the populace about the need to participate in this mass drug administration. And so that is what we are actually embarking on. And it is district specific. Every district is unique, and based on what they are endowed with, they will use those channels.
So the program has targeted close to about 5 million people. So with this low level of awareness, how do you intend to achieve that target?
Some at the moment, some of the regions are engaged in other activities, and will start with the MDAs within the week. And so the awareness creation is ongoing. It's ongoing, and we are relying on the media. We are collaborating with the media and hoping that you will help us to be able to raise the awareness throughout the various endemic regions to make sure that we get the needed people to participate in this exercise.
Well, now, can you briefly tell us what informed the choice of the districts? Because the exercise is being rolled out in 66 out of 139 endemic districts. Why is this so? And what happens in the remaining districts?
Yes, Ghana is endemic. 137 districts, as you said, are endemic for onchocerciasis. What has happened is that after a close examination of the indicators, we noticed that about 64 of the districts' indicators were so good, which meant that they are almost to the point of elimination. And so when the experts thought that if that was so, then we would need to conduct a study or a research or study to actually determine whether those districts has actually eliminated onchocerciasis or not. So those 64 districts have been put on hold to actually undergo a survey to determine their status, whether they have actually achieved elimination or not. In that case, distributing tablets in those areas will actually interrupt with the results of the survey, and that was why we have actually excluded them from the MDAs.
Okay, sir, finally, are there any plans in the offing to control or eliminate the vector, that is the black fly, in these endemic areas?
In these endemic areas, there are various black fly breeding sites that continuously, especially within the high transmission zone, when the most rivers are flooding their banks, they breed a lot, and so they bite a lot of people, especially the population that live along the banks of those rivers. And what the Ghana Health Services is focused on doing is to engage the services of entomologists who periodically go visit these breeding sites collect the black flies and then dissect them to make sure that they do not carry the parasites. Indeed, the black flies would need the humans. We will need to feed on humans because they need to take the blood milk to fertilize its eggs. However, if the whole population is taking and fertilizing the MDAs, then of course the gas will clear every parasite in the humans, and so there wouldn't be any parasite left for the black fly to pick when it bites. And so up to the total elimination of the black flies will be a bit problematic because naturally they would need to leave. But then we are dealing with the parasites, and so if we are able to clear the parasites, of course we'll suffer the bites from the black flies, but then there wouldn't be any parasite to transmit or disease to transmit, and that is what we are focused on. Indeed, we are also sensitizing the population to protect themselves if they are going out to their farms by wearing protective clothing and things like that, or to have some repellents smeared on their body so that it can repel these black flies when they come around. And so these are the interventions that the Ghana Health Services is focused on, and we believe that with this, if everybody participates in the MDAs, then there wouldn't be any parasite to transmit, and by the year 2030, as Ghana has actually determined, we would be able to eliminate onchocerciasis from Ghana.
Thank you very much, Ms. Odami Esiedu. Ms. Odami Esiedu is a National Program Officer for onchocerciasis at the Ghana Health Service, and he's been speaking to us on the Mass Drug Administration for onchocerciasis, otherwise known as river blindness in some selected districts. Last Tuesday, President Akufo-Addo launched what is called Agenda 111, which aims to transform the country's medical system. All districts in the country will have at least one fully equipped state-of-the-art hospital. Panelists on Talking Points discussed the importance of the Agenda 111 and its impact on the country's healthcare delivery system.
It's $100 million that has been taken from the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund.
Okay.
That is going to use, the government is using to start off this. The president and his government have announced that they will also budget for it over the next couple of budgets that are coming, so that to be taken care of. Now, we all know a couple of things that happen with contracts in this country. When a contractor is given a job, they're either pre-financed or they're made to pre-finance. We haven't been told whether they will be doing that or not. We do know that contracts have been issued, so contractors will start. And we've been given a timeline of 18 months. Mm-hmm. Why is it that we want to think that it is not possible? In our private lives, people take 10 years to build a house.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
they didn't plan on 10 years.
Yeah.
But they go with the resources they have at a time. In this instance, the government knows that it has limited power, time power. In other words, it can only work within a certain period of the next 3 years. It has come up with a project. It has designed everything along the way. And now, so to speak, the sword has been cut.
Okay.
Which means that they've launched
it. Okay.
Which also means that everything required is being done.
When you come and say you are doing a district hospital in 88 districts at the rate of $70 million, Ghanaians are asking. In fact, the last project we have seen President Mahama do, in fact, about 5 district hospital projects, including the Dodowa one. In fact, it goes between $30 to $35 million for each, 175 for about 5 of them. If you do the separation, you see the difference. Takwa District Hospital is also there, about $25 million at the time. But because of the rates, that's why I'm giving the rates of the dollar. That's why I'm giving you that range. So then we are with a project of $17 million. So you are asking, How many bed capacity? What is the nature of the project? Which equipments are you procuring? Are you building a polyclinic which you don't want the people to know? Are you building a health center? You must be clear. If you check till now, as to the capacity, the number of beds, Bodowa is 120 beds. What do you want to know? They are not telling us. And there are issues that we are asking. In fact, 88 hospitals goes to about $1.49 billion, which we are spending. So we are asking the rest. We have got 100 million. So the rest, where are we sorting that money from? Which they are not asking. And in fact, if it is GRIF, do we have that amount in the fund as we speak?
The Acting Inspector General of Police, IGP, Dr. George Ekufu-Dampare, on Sunday visited Abesim in the Bono region following the arrest of a 28-year-old man alleged to have murdered 2 boys and 1 other. The police arrested Richard Apia, an architect believed to have murdered the 3 and kept the parts in a fridge. The bodies were found in Apia's rented 2-bedroom house at Alaska near Abesim on Friday, August 20, 2021. The acting IGP, Dr. Dampare, visited the families of the victims following the traumatic discovery and also paid a courtesy call on the Abesim Hini and Doma Chimhini Beremana Nakumie Chao. Ahead of the visit, Dr. Dampare dispatched a team of investigators from the Criminal Investigations Department, CID Homicide Unit in Accra, to take over the case. Our Bono Regional Correspondent John Sam Asa has been following up on this development and joins us on the phone with the latest on the case. Good afternoon, John.
Good afternoon, Sayoko.
So, John, what have you gathered so far?
Well, right now, the crucial thing is the IGP came here and he's left. So the directives will now have to come into play. Among others, he asked that the homicide team from Accra pick up the investigation. And then one crucial thing he also mentioned was that 2 liaison officers have been appointed and they were expected to start work today, and they are going to liaise between the police investigation and the family so that they can keep the family abreast of all developments so far as the investigations are concerned. But he also mentioned that the public is going to be very crucial in this whole exercise because the police will have all the information that they can get to resolve this case, to really get to know, to grips with what actually happened. And so this is the time. If any member of the public has information, this is the time that it will be crucial that they get in touch with the police and let them know. So today, hopefully the homicide team is in town and they've started their investigation. So it's a waiting game now as we wait for the police to tell us what's going on. Because right now they are very tight-lipped on what they are finding out in these initial stages of the investigation. And a lot of us were expecting that the suspects, they are 2 in number now, arraigned before court today because the arrests are about 48 hours now. But we are not getting any information on that. The police are tight-lipped on when the guys will be taken to court, the suspects will be taken to court because we've also heard that they'll be taken to Accra. So it could be that the court appearance could be in Accra. For now, they are not saying much on that, and so we just have to wait.
Okay, John, as we wait, as the police undertake their investigation, can you tell us the general mood at Abesim and how is the bereaved family and the entire community dealing with this tragedy?
Yeah, the paramount reaction currently is shock. I mean, most people are in shock because this gentleman in question is widely known to a lot of people in the Abesim area and Sunyani, and everybody speaks of him being level-headed, very calm, a gentleman, and so this revelation has really sent shock waves through the whole municipality and the nation at large. People are really surprised as to the turn of events. So the families right now are still in the mourning mode. We passed by this morning and they were still seated, welcoming sympathizers who are streaming to the bit of business of the mother of the 30-year-old Louis Ajiman. So it's a long traffic there. People try to commiserate with the family. And now, we just hope that the liaison officers also keep them informed of what is going on. But the overriding feeling in the municipality right now is that of shock. And people are hoping that through this investigation, all those involved, will be arrested and, brought to book, because there are wild allegations about, what we call Sakawa boys and the use of rituals in their business. And there are allegations flying around that this suspect in question frequents Brekum, which unfortunately is infamous for Sakawa, and so people are hoping that this investigation will lead to most of these people believed to be involved in whatever use these body parts were being used wherefore will be all arrested through this investigation.
So is everything calm in the area?
Everything is calm, but it's just that it's on the lips of most people that you see. When you pass by a group of people speaking, my bet is that it will be about this issue. It's just a shocker. And I think the quicker the police carry out the investigations and then let the people know what actually happened, what the body parts were for, how long has it been going on, it'll be better for us all. All
right, thank you very much, John. John will be back to you for more updates. And John Sam Arthur is our regional correspondent. We're moving on to the Upper West region, where tricycle operators in WA will now have to register with a recognized union of their choice before operating. The operators will also need a permit from their unions to work at night. The new Upper West Regional Police Commander ACP Peter Ndekugri announced this as part of the strategies to improve on security in the region.
The tricycles, popularly known as Mahama Kambu or Yellow, is one of the cheapest and available means of transport in the Upper West region. It is the preferred means of transport for many within the regional capital and nearby villages. Aside providing good means of transport, some operators also use the tricycles to commit crime at night. And has made an interaction with the media at WA, ACP Ndekugri outlined some measures to improve on the safety and security of the Kambu operators and their patrons.
No Kambu shall operate in the night without a permit from the union. And as I earlier on said, anybody that arrives, the police coming there, they must show that any Kambu coming there has a permit. And the permit will have your name, your picture, your chairman's telephone number, boldly written. So that if it's not true, the policeman will call the unit chairman. Find out, do you know this Kambu driver? He is alleging that he's driving at your unit. So all passengers picked from Kejetia, we can assure of their safety and security to their destinations.
ACP Ndekugri said the police command is determined to flush out criminals operating at the lorry terminal by assigning permanent police officers to the market. On reducing carnage on the road, the police commander said monitoring of accident-prone areas will be intensified to arrest those whose actions contribute to avoidable accidents.
I've entreated my MT2 unit, and for that matter, the DSP, to ensure that the insurance road, the NIB road, and other dual carriages are not overcrowded with cars. In other words, they should be double parking. And they are not going to arrest anybody. He just come and issue you a summons to come to court.
ACP Peter Ndekugri is taking over from DCOP Francis Abuaji Nyako as the new police commander for the Upper West region.
The Bagri Dam in Burkina Faso will be spilled any moment from now. Authorities in Ouagadougou have informed the Ghana National Disaster Management Organization (NADMO) to sensitize residents living along the wide water in the Upper East region about the opening of the Bagri Dam this week. NADMO officials in the Boko West, Binduri and Talensi districts have since embarked on aggressive sensitization exercises. Our correspondent Samuel Ayama has been monitoring the exercise and joins us on the line with some details. Good afternoon, Sami.
Good afternoon, Mr. Doko.
Well, Sami, how prepared are the residents in this area? Have they moved to higher heights?
Yeah, for now, the residents, they have been sensitized. I'm sure the sensitization exercise started very early this year. There are not more officials in the most affected districts whenever the spillage of the Bagri Dam is done. Areas like the Boko West district, the Binduri district, the Boku Municipal, Talansi, Napdam, these are the districts that normally got affected when the spillage of the Bagri Dam takes place. So as we speak, the NADMO officials, they have embarked on series of sensitization exercises on the area. And again, like residents living along the white border, those that planted their crops, most of them have started harvesting them because they know very well that any moment from now there will be a spillage of the Bagri Dam. So the residents, as we speak, they are prepared to move to higher grounds, even though most of them are still living at their various places, but they are prepared according to them. They are all monitoring the level of the water in the wide border. Immediately they realize it has started rising at a faster pace, they will move to higher grounds.
So, okay, what measures has NADMO put in place to help those who will be affected?
For now, over the years, there have been training upon training by the regional NADMO officials, the various districts, and then that of the national. They have been coming here, train them. They always come around with a boat, which sometimes, there are some communities that they cross the white border. So during this period, access to market centers, health facilities becomes a challenge. So they come in here to station at one point and to enable or to cross the residents, those who are living across the white border. When they are coming to town to buy something, they escort them with they help them cross with the boats. And again, they have some special group who are always at the white border prepared, or like a rescue team positioned at vantage points to help rescue anybody who, one way or the other, will be trapped by the floods. So for now, Mandango, they are prepared, but the issue has to do with relief items.
Okay, so since this seems to be an annual ritual, shouldn't there be a permanent sort of measures in place to help the people in the area to reduce the damage caused by the spillage? And has the NADMO officials mentioned anything like that to you?
Yeah. For now, I'm sure the only measure or the only lasting solution to this issue has to do with the construction of the Paluku multi-purpose dam. Because the authorities have been telling us that when that dam is constructed, the dam will be able to harvest the water so that we won't have this kind of floods which have been described by as an annual ritual. So as we speak, the dam, they are still on feasibility studies, and they are moving around sensitizing the community members, because a lot of communities will be completely relocated. These are the communities they have engaged. The various chiefs recently were at the Nayiri, that is the palace of the overlord of the Mampuku traditional in Alego, to help the officials sensitize those communities that will be affected, to enable them, relocate them to a different place so that the construction itself can begin. So as we speak, the construction of the Bagri, this is what is the name, the Paluku Dam, hasn't started yet. It will start, authorities told us that they will start the main construction by the end of this year. But for now, that is the only solution that I think when it's done, you will be able to solve this perennial issue, because as we speak, there hasn't been any measures put in place. The only thing is the officials being trained, and none more officials. They told us that from now until we have the village, the position officials at vantage points to help rescue anybody who will be trapped by the blast.
Thank you very much, Samuel Ayama is our Upper East Regional Correspondent. The people of Achim Asibidie in the eastern region are in dire need of health center. They say the only CHIPS compound in the area is in a poor state, and the people have to seek medical attention in adjoining towns, which is miles away. The chief of Achim Asibidie, Nana Kwesi Badzi, told GBC News that the community has mobilized its own resources to put up a health center, but needs the support of the government and corporate bodies to complete the project and make it operational. In the United Nkrumah's Front, a group that seeks to unite all parties with the ideologies of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, has embarked on a tour across the country to regroup its members under one umbrella to ensure a united and formidable force for victory in the 2024 election. You're watching News live on GBC News and GTV. We're taking a break. We'll be back with the business segment.